Well, good morning, Miss Bennett. I've come to have another chat with Tracy Morris.
Yes, I'll get her.
Unless, of course, you have something else to tell me.
No, it was just that, I was thinking over your offer.
And?
Well, we must help the police all we can, mustn't we? It's part of the job.
Well, I'm sure that with you and I on her trail, she won't hold out for long.
Yes, I see. Yes, very well. I'll tell him. Goodbye. Well, apparently Jones is not the only one you've alienated. That was Mrs. Hampshire. Danny jumped out of the car when she stopped at the traffic lights. He's run away again. Mr. Fletcher, you will be responsible for telling Jones. After this, I doubt very much whether Danny will ever risk visiting his mother again.
The police are only going to keep coming back until you decide to tell them the truth. They're not going to say how virtuous you are for protecting a friend, if that's what you think. But maybe there wasn't a friend. You could easily have smuggled that heroin in all by yourself.
I thought it was gold. It's true.
Nobody's going to believe that until you stop covering up. What are you afraid of, Morris?
Nothing.
Then you should be. You can stay here or in your cell. If I were you, this may be safer.
What do you mean?
The cells are so isolated, that's all. Accidents have been known to happen before. At least that's what we're led to believe. Take Smith, for instance. She may be in solitary, but she still manages to have her lackeys do any dirty work for her. And you know how she feels about people who deal in drugs.
I thought it was gold.
Then all you do is tell the police who you were smuggling for, and you'll be out on bail. This isn't a boarding school, Morris. You're mixing with murderers, drunks, thieves, prostitutes, scum. But maybe you're used to that sort of company being involved with drugs.
I'm not. I'm innocent.
I started working in prisons when I was about your age. And some of the vilest types have been sent here, and they've all got one thing in common. They think they're above the law. But they soon learn. Even the toughest of them break, sooner or later. It's just a pity that you're one of the types who has to learn the hard way.
Hang it all, Meg. I was only trying to help the boy. I didn't set out to hurt him or his mother.
I know.
I didn't want to see him in a home any more than she did, even if it was only for a couple of months. But at the time, it seemed the only solution.
Is Linda all right?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's the one that she didn't hit me. Not that I'd blame her. I'm just the bloke who's responsible for a 12-year-old son wandering the streets.
Surely Linda would have some idea of where he'd go.
She wouldn't tell me, even if she knew. I mean, why should she trust me any more than her son does?
Why don't you try and find out what school he goes to?
I already have. He hasn't shown up there. Though the last time that Danny visited his mother, he did say something about staying with a mate. If I could just find out...
Well, if he's staying with someone, he's probably all right.
I know he's got a paper round somewhere out near where he lives. It's a starting point.
Look, Jim, why don't you just leave it alone?
I got him into this mess, Meg. The least I can do is try and get him out of it.
He's one of the inmate's sons. You've already got yourself far more involved than you should.
Look, don't you start lecturing me, please. I've got to find him.
Well, as long as it's for the right reasons.
What do you mean?
I just want you to be careful, Jim. You can become very attached to a child.
Nothing can replace my sons, Meg, if that's what you're thinking. Not even for a second.
Dora and me had it all worked out. We was going to be a family. The three of us. She was really looking forward to that baby. It oughtn't to have happened to her, Jude.
I know, but sometimes these things are meant to happen, honey. It's like nature's way of saying something's wrong, you know?
Doreen will have others.
The doc reckons she'd be lucky to have any more.
What do doctors know anyway? It's only one opinion.
Yeah.
Phyllis, are you interested in placing a little bet with me? I'm offering double on what Margot paid out when she was running the book. It's only open for the first 5 backers. Be worth you getting in on the ground floor, don't you think?
you can make a killing.
Why so generous?
Just a matter of building up goodwill.
Yeah, the only goodwill you could build up is by dropping dead.
The women can make up their own minds. You're not running this place.
No, I'm not. Bee is. But I'm seeing that her orders are carried out.
Bee's in solitary.
Oh, I know that. And I have a pretty good idea how she and Margot got there.
I'm offering double for the first 5 backers.
How are you going to do that? Now, the last I heard, you only had $5. Either you can't add up or you don't intend to pay up.
White, I've got a job for you.
Oh, Miss Bennett, can I go and see Dora?
You saw her this morning.
Yeah, I know, but I want to make sure she's all right.
Of course she's all right. Now go back and do some work for a change. Don't just stand there, White. Get moving.
That bloody woman's going to push me too far one of these days.
Then what are you going to do? Beat her to death with your knitting?
Beat her at her own game.
Hey?
You know, every time those two get together, somebody gets the chop.
I hoped to get at Bee and Margot, didn't I? Why pick on me all the time?
Because you have a talent for conning people, White.
What's in it for me?
An easier time of it in here. Or I could see that you stay put in the laundry with dregs like Bryant. And Smith won't be in solitary forever.
There wouldn't be a reward for information now, would there?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm only doing my job. And you're going to help me. If you leave one speck of dust lying around, I'll have you on report.
Look, I said I was sorry. Isn't that enough?
You've got to learn not to answer back to the officers, White. Is that understood?
Yes, Miss Bennett.
On your feet, Morris. How touching. It's a wonder you didn't warn your father. The police want to speak to him.
I told them he had nothing to do with it.
They seem to think otherwise. It'll be interesting to hear what he brings back to Australia. Or does he only get his daughter to bring the drugs back for him?
No!
That bitch got it in for you, too, huh? What's the matter?
I just didn't think anyone was coming in here.
Hey, I'm not going to bite you.
Are you a friend of Bee's?
Look at me. The best thing Miss Bennett ever did was get Bee Smith put into solitary and off my back. Pity she couldn't do the same to herself. Not much fun being in here, is it? You know, they shouldn't put women on remand in the same place as these people. It's not fair. Some of them got records a mile long. I should know. I was on remand. It was my first offense. But by the time Bee Smith and Judy Bryant and all their mates got through with me, I ended up with 5 years. You stay well away from them, do you hear? Or you might end up in here for life. Letters are censored, you know. Be awful to dob in your own dad.
He doesn't even know I'm in prison.
I'm just going on what Miss Bennett said.
Well, they're wrong. They're all wrong.
It's none of my business. Tracy, why doesn't he know?
He was meant to be in Hong Kong, but he must have gone somewhere without letting the office know. He travels for about 6 months of the year, and it's really hard keeping up with him.
What's he in? Politics?
Imports and exports. He's got his own business.
Look, why don't you just save yourself a lot of trouble and tell the police who set you up? All right, but I know who's going to freak if she spends too much time in here.
Dad'll know what to do.
Dad? He can't help you in here. But then again, he might be able to make it easier for you. Now, take women like Bee and Judy. They might leave you alone if you had something they wanted.
But Judy seems all right. I mean, she stood up for me the other day when Bee
Those two are like that. And they're very dangerous. But if you had something you could buy them off, protection, like money or drugs.
I'm not into drugs.
All
I've
right,
told you.
all right, money then. Your father must be rolling in dough. Surely he could smuggle some into you. Take me, for example. I'm broke. They'd leave me alone if I could buy them off.
Is it really that bad?
I don't know how much more I can take.